to address Carl here?
I don't understand y'all, man.
There's a whole conversation going on, which I got to give Carl props. He did come back with this one. You know?
Yeah. I ain't trying to come at Carl's neck or anything like that. I don't get why y'all don't like Deontay, man. I don't I don't understand it. It's so funny to me because I have these conversations. You know, I obviously have a YouTube channel that's specifically dedicated to breaking down film, and there's a lot of people that I follow on Twitter that, you know, do similar things, whether it be for different teams or they do more national kind of stuff. And it's so funny because I get these DMs all the time about, you know, how good Deontay is. And it's so funny because, you know, all these other people around the league or that really watch ball, they like Deontay. They think he's really good. And then I have to tell people all the time, like, Steeler fans hate Deontay. They just don't get it. It's so funny. There's a guy I want to shout him out, James Foster, who does stuff for A to Z. And he does incredible work. But he DM'd me the other day and was telling me, said, "Can you tell Matt Canada that Deontay can run more routes than just curl routes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll get right on that, bro." But he was, you know, we're talking, and you know, again, he's another guy that thinks that, you know, Deontay is a really, really good player. So I don't know. I don't know why y'all don't like him, man. Especially because he's the least I know he's controversial within the fan base, but in terms of
wide receiver,
but in terms of his personality, he's the least, you know, he will throw his hands up after the play if he's wide open, which is a lot, and he doesn't get the football. But, you know, he's a really soft-spoken dude. I mean, you talk to him all the time. He does. He's not a man of many words. He keeps to himself. I don't know. I don't get why y'all don't like him, man. That's all I'm saying. I did want to answer this too because Boswell. Yeah. I didn't think about Bos, so I'm not. I don't know. He wasn't that great last year, to be honest with you. But he would have probably been close to the top 10. I would have at least considered him had I thought about him. I just didn't include specialist. So that's.
I'd say he's close to the top 10, but also, you know, hit or miss last year. Hit or miss.
He does this thing. He does this thing where he's incredible for a couple of years, and then he
gets a new contract.
Yeah,
that's it. It always lines up with him. He is a wide receiver in a kicker's body. Like, you know what I mean? There was always the narrative of when a wideout gets paid, he stinks. Every time Chris Boswell gets paid, he stinks, and then he's phenomenal again. So this year will be like him cracking the top 10.
Bos is a good kicker, man. He's a
great kicker. He might be like the third best kicker, maybe like, you know, top 3, top 4 best kickers in the NFL when he's hot. You know, it's those years. But I'm telling you, like this year, he'll crack the top 10 easy because it's the year after the contract, which is the wild year. But I agree with you on the DJ stuff. I will say this though, we have hit a point where I'm starting to understand the drop issues and the like, you know, at first I was a defender of them and said, you know, this will be cleared up. We've hit a point where it's got to stop. Like it's got to.
Here's the thing with me for the drops. I think the drops are because of how bad 2020 was with the drops, with him dropping 15 balls. I think that's just ingrained in people's heads.
Yes, agree with that.
Of how frustrating that is. And like I said, I think that Deontay can be frustrating because, you know, the hands and the overall consistency, you know, he'll have a game where he, you know, is really frustrating to watch. You know, but I think for me, honestly, and this is going to sound like crazy to y'all, but, you know, you look at the drop percentage the past 2 seasons, 6.7, 8.5, according to Pro Football Focus. That's good. That's right in line with what other wide receiver ones are doing. I mean, the drops to me, statistically, I think that's just overblown. What drives me insane about Deontay is the false start penalties. That y'all hate the drops, but I just think that he's targeted so much. Any guy that's going to get targeted 130, 140 times, you're going to have 7 or 8 drops. And if that happens, it's completely fine. That's why, to me, it doesn't really matter, or it doesn't matter as much as you guys think. So the false starts to me is what drives me insane because I just think back to like when I played, you know, how often, you know, receivers coaches would talk about watching the football and there's never, ever, ever, ever a reason to get a false start penalty as a receiver. And it seems like every year he's getting 5, 6 false starts. So that stuff drives me insane. So
I agree. The false starts are the running backwards. There's a couple, but in the long run, like I think the gap between him and everybody else is just in Pittsburgh is so significant. Like, I think George Pickens has the
The
capabilities
running
of being a
backwards
star.
the running backwards thing is valid. But I also
That's
think
definitely
like
valid,
with
but
the
it's
yards
also in
after
an offense. Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Like it's you're given very minimal opportunities to do what you should be able to do. By the end of the season, all he heard from everybody in the world was how this guy didn't catch a touchdown pass and how ridiculous it was, how he's terrible because he can't catch touchdowns, which weren't his fault. I mean, 2 of them were his fault, but the rest of them were not his fault. And so at that point, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'd be running backwards too. Like I'd be, I used to catch punts in Madden and then you just run down one sideline, turn around, loop it around. That would be me if I was Deontay Johnson last season.
Y'all
Yeah.
are saying we think a lot about the drops because they're game changers. What drop did he have last year that was a game changer?
I don't know.
I'm just genuinely like what
Even
drop are we
Donnie's
talking
jumping in
about?
here. Look at this. Even Donnie's coming in with the jabs for the key moments. What are we doing here?
I mean,
What are we
there's
doing here?
probably something there. I'm
Yeah,
like
there's definitely at
legitimately
least a moment, no doubt.
yeah.
But I think that everybody, again, they cling on to the Kansas City game, which was not like you're
Sure.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sure.
I agree with
he
that
wasn't
one.
good in that game.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that it's like,
And
you
there
know what I
will
mean?
be times where, like I said, he does have lapses in terms of overall performance. I just think, that's tough. I mean, I think, and again, I'm not gonna go like full on, defending him, whatever. I just think that the
Yeah.
narrative sometimes that y'all push isn't really. I just don't. I just think it's not rooted in actual facts. I think, like I said, the drop percentage thing. If you look at it against other wide receiver ones, it's not the issue that you guys think it is. And like people are saying, just drive killers. How many other players killed drives last year? I mean, I
Yeah.
watched Pat Fryermuth kill drives with penalties or missing blocking assignments. I watched Pickett throw poor interceptions. Earlier in the season, particularly.
Yes. Or really
Yeah,
bad balls.
I just think that maybe it's to me, maybe it's just you see DJ get a target and it clings off his hands or whatever, or he has a false start, which is really frustrating to me. Maybe we just see those and it gets magnified because he's paid a little bit more now, and we kind of expect him to be that true wide receiver one. But I don't know. I just think a lot of it, man, is just some old narratives or some narratives that are being pushed by some people that maybe I don't know. Maybe y'all should be listening to, but it's just
No,
my opinion.
I agree. That's how I felt the same way. You know what I mean? Again, like it's, I think DJ's a wide receiver one. I think he's always been.
Well, the last thing too I'm gonna say about him is, and then we can move on. But if Deontay was playing with Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert,
it'd be ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Like, I'm not
Our
trying.
quarterback. You got to think that his best quarterback he's ever played with was Ben Roethlisberger behind the worst offensive line in Pittsburgh Steelers history.
Yeah, I mean, this dude has been playing in an absolute dumpster fire of an offense since he was drafted, and it's just tough. It's just really tough. I think I think if he was a guy, to me, Deontay's probably in that top 15-ish wide receiver range across the NFL. If I had to really rank them, but yeah, I mean, I think if we're talking about giving this guy to Mahomes or Herbert or even Burrow, like we would be singing a lot different of a tune. I could tell you that. But
oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my, I think about that. I try to make that argument constantly. Like could you imagine what Deontay Johnson does with a quarterback, a real one, and a real offensive coordinator who draws them open? Like he's the most open wide receiver in football with an offensive coordinator who can't draw passing plays. Think about that.
I just think like if people really watched him on a snap to snap basis, you know what I'm saying? If people really watch him on a snap to snap basis and the way that he's used, on the backside of the formation, 3x1s, and the way that he can separate against some of the top DBs, and he's always consistently drawing the top guys on the outside. He's not. It's not like it's not like Canada or any coordinator that we've had here is putting him in stacks and getting him free releases, and they're doing a bunch of switch stuff, and he's getting force fed targets on screens and yak plays underneath, and it's just fake production. All of his production is really generated by him. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I hope he has a good season. I think if he has a good season, the Steelers offense is going to be really good. So I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Real good. And you best believe we'll be on here bragging about it. No doubt about it.